Yes, Siva sir, I have started, sir.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
Right, okay. So yesterday, so in this problem, you can identify there is one term here. It is written. We have to find out the isothermal efficiency. Okay, so we have studied regarding mechanical efficiency. We have discussed volumetric efficiency. We have discussed relative efficiency. Here, one more new term we are getting. Actually, not the new term. Already, I think you might have studied this in thermodynamics. But in TE1 today, we are going to discuss this new term, that is isothermal efficiency. Okay. So what do you mean by this isothermal efficiency? What is the formula? We calculate isothermal efficiency. First, we will discuss. After that, we are going to start this problem. Okay. So first, let me tell you regarding isothermal efficiency. Isothermal efficiency. So I think yesterday you have got the exam dates for first year supply exams. First year, first semester and second semester supply exams are going to start from July 6 onwards. Okay. So be prepared for that, and whenever this first year supply exams will complete, I think after that, after 1 or 2 weeks, they are going to start second year, second semester exam also. Mostly by July end or August first week. Mostly before August 10, they are going to start the second semester, second year, second semester final examination. Okay, so you have hardly 1 month or 1.5 months are there in your hand, and I'm sure most of you didn't start the preparation for the current semester. I can give guarantee. Okay, so most of you, many of you didn't start the preparation. Even they didn't know what is there in unit 1, what is there in unit 2. That idea also they don't have. I can give the guarantees. There are many students. Okay, so your final semester exam for the current semester 2 it is going to be start on July end or August first week. Okay, so every day I am posting the notes, and still class by class I am updating the notes in the group. But still, if you want the total unit 1, total unit 2, total unit 3 notes, you put a message to me. I will send you the complete unit notes also, and you start preparation from now onwards. Otherwise, at that time it will be very hectic for you to prepare all the subjects, because for mid one exam also you have not prepared anything, because mid one exam was objective type this year. Okay, so only you have studied some objectives and you have written the mid one exams. Okay, but this is not going to work, because your external exam will be offline exam and subjective paper will come. Okay, so you prepare accordingly. So today first we are going to start regarding isothermal efficiency. Okay, so first I will give you the definition of this one, and after that we are going to start solving the problem. So isothermal efficiency, it is represented as efficiency. This is the symbol of efficiency, iso. It is represented in this manner. This eta is the symbol of efficiency. ISO means isothermal. So this indicates isothermal efficiency. So the formula I will tell you, it is defined as the ratio between isothermal work done and actual polytropic or isentropic work done in compressor. Okay, so this is the formula of isothermal efficiency. What is the isothermal efficiency? It is defined as the ratio between isothermal work done and the polytropic or isentropic work done in a compressor. This is the formula to calculate isothermal efficiency. Okay, so now the thing is, what do you mean by isothermal work done? What is the formula of isothermal work done? For example, we will see first what is this isothermal work done. Okay. So isothermal work done, suppose this is a PV diagram. Okay, and suppose this is a process, this is point 1, this is point 2. I am talking regarding thermodynamics. In thermodynamics, unit 1, you have studied this thing. At point 1, the pressure is P1 and volume is suppose V1. And at point 2, pressure is P2 and volume is V2. Okay. Suppose a process is moving from system 1 to system 2. So what is the formula to calculate isothermal work done? Can anybody tell? Have you remembered it? Isothermal work done formula in terms of pressure and volume. Isothermal work done, WISO. What is the formula of this one? Can anybody tell? Have you remembered? In thermodynamics already you have studied this thing. Okay, there are isothermal work done, polytropic work done, isentropic work done. Okay, so different formulas are there. So for isothermal work done, what is the formula? Can anybody remember? No. So for isothermal work done, the formula is P1 V1 ln P2 by P1. This is the formula to calculate isothermal work done. Okay, so there is a if you want, one proof is also there. Okay, by considering the ideal gas equation PV equal to MRT, we can derive this formula. But for the timing, it is not required. Already all these things, all this derivation and all these things you have studied in thermodynamics by Guru Shankar sir. Okay, so this is the formula to calculate isothermal work done. P1 V1 ln P2 by P1. In terms of pressure, if you write it, it will come like this. And in terms of volume, if you write W isothermal work done equal to P1 V1 ln V1 by V2. In this term, you will get the answer. Okay, how this will come? We have the ideal gas equation PV equal to MRT, and isothermal process means temperature will remain constant. That is the meaning of isothermal process. Temperature will remain constant. So mass of the gas is constant, R is a universal gas constant, and if temperature will also constant, then this total term is equal to a constant. So what we got? We have got PV equal to constant. If PV is equal to constant, so I can write P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Okay, so that implies what I want P2 by P1. So if this P1 I will take this side and this V2 I will take to this side. So what I will get, V1 by V2 is equal to P2 by P1. This term I will get. So that's why in place of P2 by P1 I have written V1 by P2 from this equation. Okay, and again I have written PV equal to MRT. So in place of P1 V1, for this formula also I can write W isothermal equal to, in place of P1 V1, what I can write, MRT1. So MRT ln or T1 ln P2 by P1. So based upon the demand of the question, you have to ask, you have to put any of this formula. Okay. So this formula you have to remember. This is the formula to identify the isothermal work done. Okay. So here also in the isothermal efficiency, okay, it is the defined as the ratio between isothermal work done. Okay. So what is isothermal work done? Here we have find out the formula for isothermal work done. Any formula you can take. Suppose in the question paper, initial pressure and final pressure they have given. Then we can take this formula. Suppose in the question paper, initial volume and final volume they have given. So we can take this formula. Suppose in the question paper, initial pressure and final pressure and initial temperature was given. Volume is not given. So we can use this formula. So only you have to remember this formula. If you can remember this formula, okay. So from here, all the other formulas you can be able to determine. Okay, right. So this thing we are going to implement here in the formula of isothermal efficiency. So what we can write? Eta isothermal equal to, what is the formula? It is the ratio between isothermal work done, means work done in isothermal process, whole divided by work done in polytropic or isentropic process. This is the formula of isothermal efficiency. Okay, ratio between isothermal work done and polytropic or isentropic work done. Okay, so that implies if we will put the formula, eta iso equal to isothermal efficiency equal to the ratio between, what is the formula of isothermal work done? For isothermal work done, the formula becomes P1 V1 ln P2 by P1. So we'll write it P1 V1 ln P2 by P1. Okay, and what is the polytropic or isentropic work done? Already this formula we have already discussed in the last class. The formula becomes n divided by n minus 1 P1 V1 whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power n minus 1 by n minus 1. This is the total formula to calculate isothermal efficiency. Okay, if it is polytropic process, then we can write here n. If it is isentropic or adiabatic process, then in place of n, we can write gamma. Okay. So I will write what this one is for polytropic process. This one is for polytropic process. Okay, this is equal to, if it is adiabatic or isentropic process, then the formula becomes P1 V1 ln P2 by P1 whole divided by, just in place of n we will write gamma. Gamma by gamma minus 1 P1 V1 whole into P2 by P1 whole to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. Okay, so this is the formula if the compression process is adiabatic or isentropic. This formula you can apply, okay, for adiabatic or isentropic compression. Both the formulas are exactly same. If it is polytropic process, you write N, and if it is adiabatic process, you write gamma. That's it. Okay. So in this way, we can calculate the isothermal efficiency. First, you calculate what is the isothermal work done by applying this formula. Then you calculate what is polytropic work done by applying this formula. Okay. And then you take the ratio of isothermal work done and polytropic work done, and we will get isothermal efficiency. Okay. So this is regarding isothermal efficiency that we have discussed. Now we are going to solve the problem which is based upon this formula. So this is the question. So you be prepared with calculator. I will write the given data, I will write the formulas, and you have to solve the question and you have to tell me the answers. So now we are going to start this question. So first point, given that, okay, so what are the things given? And say a single stage reciprocating air compressor has air entering at 1 bar and 20 degrees Celsius. Means air will enter, the initial temperature of air or entry temperature of air is 1 bar and pressure is, sorry, entry pressure is 1 bar and temperature is 20 degree Celsius. So initial pressure equal to 1 bar, okay, and initial temperature equal to 20 degree Celsius. Okay, so always we have to convert this into Kelvin. 20 degree Celsius plus 273. Okay. So if we will do it, how much we will get? We will get 293 Kelvin temperature. What is next? And compression occurs polytropically with index 1.2. So what is this 1.2? Can anybody tell? It is written compression occurs polytropically with index 1.2. Yes, exactly 305. Okay, so polytropic process means I told you if it is polytropic process, we have to take PV to the power n equal to constant. If it is adiabatic process, then PV to the power gamma equal to constant. Since it is written polytropic process and index is given 1.2, this means n value it is given 1.2. So your only thing is you have to understand the question. If by reading the question you can write down this given data correctly, then there is no problem. You will get the correct answers. Okay. Now, up to a delivery pressure of 12 bar. Okay. So delivery pressure means in inlet pressure of the air is 1 bar, and after compression, the outlet pressure or delivery pressure of air is 12 bar, exactly 321. So delivery pressure means P2 equal to 12 bar. Okay, so we will convert it into kilopascal. Always it is better to convert it into kilopascals, because whatever the power output or work done units we will get, those units are in kilowatts. Okay, so 1 bar is how many kilopascal? Can you tell? 1 bar is how much kilopascal? Unit conversion, do you know or not? Yes, 313, 100 kilopascal. So how it is 100 kilopascal? If somebody don't know this thing, then let me tell you. Okay. So 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. Okay. And 1 Newton, which is equal to 10 to the power 5 Pascal. 1 Newton per meter square is 1 Pascal. Okay. And 1 kilopascal equal to 10 to the power 3 Pascal. Okay, so 1 bar is 10 to the power 5 Pascal. 1 kilopascal is 10 to the power 3 Pascal. Kilo means 10 to the power 3. So what is the difference between 1 bar and 1 kilopascal? 100. Because 1 bar is 10 to the power 5, 1 kilopascal is 10 to the power 3. So the difference between bar and 100 is, the difference between 1 bar and 1 kilopascal is 100. Okay, 10 to the power 2. Okay, so if you want to convert a bar into kilopascal, then you have to multiply 10 to the power 2. 10 to the power 2 means it is nothing but 100 you have to multiply. So that's why if we multiply 100 here, so 1 bar means 100 kilopascal and 12 bar means 1200 kilopascal. Okay, next. Next thing is the compressor runs at a speed of 240 rpm. So speed is given, capital N is equal to 240 rpm and has L by D ratio is of 1.8. What is L by D? L is the stroke length, D is the diameter. Okay, so L by D ratio is equal to 1.8. L is the length, D is the diameter of the piston. Okay, this ratio was given 1.8. Now the next one is the compressor has mechanical efficiency of 80%. So mechanical efficiency, regarding this mechanical efficiency, yesterday we have already discussed. It is 88% or 0.88. Find out the isothermal efficiency. Okay, efficiency, isothermal efficiency, we have to calculate. Cylinder dimension. Cylinder dimension means this length and diameter we have to calculate. Length is how much, diameter of the cylinder is how much. This is called cylinder dimension. Okay, because if you will see a cylinder, the cylinder will be having a diameter and it will be having a length. These two dimensions we have to calculate, length and diameter. Then also calculate the rating of drive required to run the compressor, which admits 1 meter cube of air per minute. So what is the volume flow rate of the air? Volume flow rate of the air is, okay, or the inlet volume of the air is 1 meter cube per minute. Okay, so volume flow rate of air, it is given 1 meter cube per minute. Okay, and if it is given 1 meter cube per minute, we have to convert this into second already, because always I have told you the time unit should always be in second. Okay, so 1 minute is how much second? 1 minute is 60 second. Okay, so 1 by 60 meter cube per second. So this V volume flow rate of air or the inlet volume is equal to how much it is? 0.016. 1 by 60, if you will calculate, it will be 0.016 meter cube per second. Okay, this thing is given, and these three and these things we have to calculate. This thing we have to calculate. Also that the rating power required to run the compressor. Can you tell me what is this thing? Also calculate, because you, if you cannot understand the question, how, what you can derive. The here the last line is calculate the rating power of drive required to run compressor. Means which power we have to calculate here? Can you tell? What we have to calculate? What is the meaning of this thing? Calculate the rating of drive required to run compressor. What is the meaning of this line? Brake power, exactly, 313. Because how the compressor will run? Already yesterday I have told you, the compressor will run with the help of a motor or with the help of a drive. Okay, the motor or the drive will rotate the crankshaft, and then the compressor, then the piston will move and the compressor will work. Prime mover, exactly. Okay, so that is drive is nothing but prime mover, and this drive, this motor or this prime mover or this drive will rotate the crankshaft, and from crankshaft which power we are getting? We are getting brake power. So this means here he is asking, in this line he is asking to calculate brake power. Okay, so along with all these things we have to calculate the brake power of the engine. Okay, so like this manner you have to understand the question. Okay, so these are the given data and these are the things that we have to calculate. So if you are getting this type of question, it will be 10 marks or 15 marks, like that you will get in the exam. Okay, so we will start solving this question. Our first time is we have to calculate isothermal efficiency. This is our first step. Okay, so I will give the heading here. first point, we have to calculate isothermal efficiency. This is our first aim. That is eta iso, we have to calculate. Okay. So for isothermal efficiency, what formula I have told you? First, we have to calculate the isothermal work done by applying this formula. Then we have to calculate the polytropic or isentropic work done by applying this formula. Then we will take the ratio so that we will get isothermal efficiency. Okay. So we will write here the isothermal efficiency is equal to isothermal work done divided by polytropic work done. Okay, so first here we will calculate isothermal work done. First we will calculate isothermal work done. Okay, so what is the formula to calculate isothermal work done? WISO. So isothermal work done already I have written here. For isothermal work done, the formula is P1 V1 ln P2 by P1. So isothermal work done formula is P1 V1 ln P2 by P1, which is equal to, what is P1? So P1 is 100 kilopascal. Okay, we will write here 100 kilopascal into what is the volume of the air, or what is the inlet volume? Okay, so volume of the air is given, which admits 1 meter cube of air per minute. Okay, so volume of the air or inlet volume V1 we have got 0.016. We'll write it 0.016 ln, okay, into this is ln P2 by P1. What is P2? P2 is 1200, P1 is 100. P2 is 1200 divided by P1 is 100. So you calculate this and tell me how much isothermal work done we are getting. 3.975 kilowatts. Okay, so in your calculator, here students are doing mistake. In your calculator, if you will see closely, okay, so then in your calculator, two options are there. In calculator, one key is there where it is written log. There is one more key where it is written ln. Okay, so here you have to take ln. Ln you have to take. In the calculator, you click on this ln. Don't click on the log. You will get different answers. You have to click on ln. Okay. So after clicking on ln, what is the answer we are getting? We are getting 3.975. Okay. So we are getting isothermal work done is 3.975 kilowatts. Why kilowatts? Because this pressure already we have converted into kilopascal. Okay. So that's why the unit we will get 3.975 kilowatt. But in my book it is given 4.14. I don't know who is correct, who is wrong. In book it is, the answer is given 4.14 isothermal work done. Anyway, I don't know who is right, who is wrong. Okay, so you should take ln. You should not enter log. Okay. So this is the isothermal work done. So next, second thing, we have to calculate polytropic work done. Okay, polytropic work done we have to calculate. Polytropic 4.14. Somebody is getting 4.14. 313. So who is correct? Whether it is 3.975 or 4.14. I think if you will click on log, I think if you will click on log, you will get 3.975. If you will click on ln, you will get 4.14. I am getting, who is 313? How you got 4.14? Because in book also the answer is given 4.14. We should take volume as 0.01667. Okay, so in that case we are getting 4.14. Huh? Okay. This volume here you have taken 0.01667. Okay, right. Okay, no problem. So 1 kilowatt up and down, there is no problem. Okay, but actual answer is 4.14. But here it is 3.975. Okay, with this one only we will proceed. But actually, Sudhir, your answer is actually correct. But anyway, we will proceed with this one also. There will be no problem. So polytropic work done. Next thing is we have to calculate polytropic work done. The formula is work done during polytropic process. Okay. So this formula we are going to apply for polytropic work done, n by n minus 1. Okay. This formula I am going to write n by n minus 1 P1 V1 P2 by P1 whole to the power n minus 1 by n minus 1. Now I will put the values over here. So n value is how much? N value. So n value we have taken, it is given 1.2. Okay. So polytropically with index was given 1.2. So n value is 1.2. 1.2 divided by n minus 1. So 1.2 minus 1. P1 was 100 kilopascal. V1 was 0.016. But up to 3-4 decimal, you take this volume, then you will get the correct answers. So P2 was 1200, P1 was 100, whole to the power n minus 1 by n. So means 1.2 minus 1 whole divided by 1.2 minus 1. Solve this one and tell me how much polytropic work we are getting. Solve this one and tell me the answer. 4.925. We are getting 4.925 kilowatts. Okay, so we have calculated isothermal work done. We have calculated polytropic work done. Then we will take the ratio between these two and we will get the isothermal efficiency. Okay. So isothermal efficiency eta ISO is equal to, okay, so isothermal work done divided by polytropic work done. So isothermal work done, how much we got? 3.975. 3.975 whole divided by polytropic work done, we got how much? 4.925. 4.925. If you will multiply 100, we will get in terms of percentage. So how much we are getting? 80.71 percentage. 80.71 percentage. Okay, so isothermal efficiency we are getting 80%. Okay, so in this way we can calculate the isothermal efficiency. Only thing is you have to remember the formula, isothermal formula and polytropic formula. These two formula you have to remember. Okay, calculate isothermal work done separately, calculate polytropic work done separately, take the ratio between both these two and you will get your answer. Okay, so one part of the question we have already completed. This part we have already completed. Okay, now the second thing is we have to calculate the cylinder dimension, length and diameter. Okay, the cylinder dimension we have to calculate. So can you tell me any length equal to, yes, length equal to 1.8 d. From here we can write length equal to 1.8 d. We can write here because L by D is 1.8, so L equal to 1.8 d. But what is the value of L? What is the value of D? We have to calculate. This is called a cylinder dimension. So can you tell me, can you guess how to calculate this cylinder dimension? Because this is a new types of questions. Okay, so whatever the previously we have solved the question, in that question the bore diameter and stroke length they used to give this length and diameter value, they used to mention in the question. But in this question they are asking you to calculate length and diameter. So by seeing the given data, can you tell, can you suggest how to find out length and diameter from this given data? Mechanical efficiency, no. From mechanical efficiency, what is mechanical efficiency? Because from mechanical efficiency is related to indicated power by brake power. Means brake power means whatever the power we are supplying to the motor, and indicated power means whatever the power required to generate to compress the air, means polytropic power. Okay, so those things we will get from mechanical efficiency. Yesterday I have told regarding mechanical efficiency. Brake power, indicated power by brake power. Brake power means whatever the power we are supplying by the motor. Indicated power means polytropic power or isentropic power required to compress the air. Those things we will get from mechanical efficiency. Okay. We will not get any diameter or length from mechanical efficiency. So I will tell you how to get this length and diameter. Okay, so you have to be a careful little bit because every time formula will not work. Okay, you have to apply a little bit common sense also. So in this question you can see this volume is given. Okay, what is this volume? How much volume of air can enter? How much volume of air can accommodate inside the cylinder? Okay, so the cylinder can accommodate, cylinder can admit 1 meter cube of air per minute. This means the volume flow rate of the cylinder is also 1 meter cube. And what is the formula of cylinder volume? So cylinder volume is pi by 4 d square into L. Okay, volume of a cylinder we know pi by 4 d square into L. So from by utilizing that formula, we are going to find out the cylinder dimensions. Okay. So what I mean is, I will explain. Suppose this is the cylinder. This is the cylinder of a engine. Okay. So suppose the length of this cylinder is L. And the diameter, this is the circular part. So diameter of the cylinder is suppose capital D. So what is the volume of the cylinder? Volume of the cylinder. What is volume? Volume means area into length, which is equal to, what is area? So this is a circular cross section. So area of a circle is pi by 4 d square. So area is pi by 4 d square into L. So volume of a cylinder is pi by 4 d square L. Okay. So, but in this question, what is given? Volume flow rate is given, meter cube per second. You see the unit, meter cube per second. Means both the side we have to divide the time period. Here also we have to divide the time period, and here also we will divide the time period. Okay, so this is called volume flow rate, volume per unit time. This value is given how much? This value is given 0.016. Okay, and from here this diameter and length we have to calculate. Okay, so how to calculate I will tell you. Second part is we have to calculate cylinder dimension. Cylinder diameter, that is length and diameter we have to calculate. So in this question, it is given volume flow rate, volume or air flow rate equal to how much? Volume flow rate or air flow rate was given 0.016 meter cube per second. 0.016 meter cube per second. Okay, so that implies what is the formula of volume flow rate? Pi by 4 d square into L. Okay, so pi by 4 d square into L. This is the volume. Unit of this one is only meter cube, but we have to find out meter cube per second. Okay, we have to calculate meter cube per second. So how to calculate meter cube per second? So we have to multiply here capital N. What is capital N? Capital N is speed of the engine, because unit of capital N is 240 revolution per minute. Yes or no? Because it is 240 revolution per minute. Speed means 240 revolution per minute. So that's why we have, if we'll multiply N here, this is the volume, the unit of this one is meter cube, and unit of this one is 1 by minute. Per minute means 1 by minute. So you will get it meter cube per minute. But here it is in second. So we have to convert it into second. So N by 60 we have to multiply, because 1 minute is 60 seconds. This is equal to, we will get 0.016. So once again, I am explaining this thing. I think you might get confused over here. Volume flow rate is 0.016 meter cube per second. Volume means pi by 4 d square into L. Unit of diameter is meter. Unit of length is meter. So d square means meter square into meter, meter cube. So from here, from this quantity, unit of this quantity is meter cube. And what is, if we'll multiply N here, okay, then it is revolution per minute. So this total unit will be meter cube per minute. But here the unit is meter cube per second. We have to convert this minute into second. So 1 minute is how much second? 1 minute is 60 seconds, because it is revolution per minute. So meter is in the denominator. So that's why in the denominator we have multiplied 60. So there this unit also we will get in second, 1 by second. Okay, so total unit will be meter cube into 1 by second, meter cube per second. So unit can be balanced. Okay, so that implies, we will write here, that implies pi by 4 d square. What is L? So L by d was given 1.8. So from here we can write L equal to 1.8 d. So in place of L we will write 1.8 d into 1.8 d into what is N? Speed of the engine is 240 revolution per minute. So you will write 240 by 60. This much revolution per second we will get. This is equal to 0.016. Now simply solve this question and you will get the diameter. Okay, so this is equal to pi by 4 d square into d. It is d cube into 1.8 into, it is 240 by 60 is equal to 0.016. Now you solve this question, you have to take square cube and you tell me what is the diameter we are getting. You take all this term to right hand side, okay, and take cube root. In your calculator, one option is there, this cube root option is there. Like that, one option, one key is there. In place of x, you put 3 so that we can take cube root and we will get the answer. You solve this and tell me what is the diameter we are getting. I don't have calculator, otherwise I could have show you how to calculate the cube root. I think you should know. Being in second year, you should know how to calculate cube root by using calculator. Anybody got the answer? 0.1414. Okay. So if we will take the cube root and the answer we will get 0.1414 meter. Now what is the how to calculate length? Length equal to 1.8 d. Okay. Now length equal to 1.8 d, which is equal to 1.8 into diameter we got 0.1414. That implies what is the length? Once tell me. 0.254. Okay. So length we got 0.254 meter. So in this way we have calculated, yes, correct. So in this way we have calculated the cylinder dimension. Okay. So normally in the question paper, what they will give? The stroke length and bore diameter they will mention. But in this question, they didn't give the stroke length and bore dimension. They asked you to calculate stroke length and bore dimension. That's why I have kept this question, so that we can cover all the possibilities of question that will come in the final semester exam. That's why I am telling you, whatever the questions we are solving in class, you just practice those things. No need to follow any books, nothing else. Whatever the questions we are doing in the class, you just practice it. All the questions that will come in the final semester exam, you will be able to solve, because we are solving all possibilities of questions which will come in the final semester exam. So we have calculated isothermal efficiency, we have calculated the stroke length, we have calculated the diameter. Now the only thing which is left behind is brake power. And how to calculate this brake power? This brake power we can calculate from the mechanical efficiency, because so far we have not used this formula, mechanical efficiency. Okay, so this brake power, somebody was telling this mechanical efficiency was used to calculate length and dimension, but no, this length and diameter you can calculate from the volume flow rate. Okay, and this brake power we can calculate from this mechanical efficiency. So that is the last point. After that we will close the class. So last point, we have to calculate the brake power, or we have to calculate the brake power, or this one, power required to run the compressor. Drive or power required to run compressor. Okay. So for this one, we are going to use mechanical efficiency formula. So mechanical efficiency, yesterday I have told. Okay. So yesterday I have told mechanical efficiency is equal to indicated power by brake power. This indicated power is nothing but the polytropic power or isentropic power required to run the compressor. Okay. So here we can write polytropic power, since this is a polytropic process. So polytropic power, okay, or indicated power we can write whole divided by brake power, which is, that implies, what is mechanical efficiency? Mechanical efficiency is 88% or 0.88. So mechanical efficiency we will write 0.88 is equal to, what is the polytropic power? So polytropic power, how much we got? Polytropic power is same as polytropic work done only. Okay, because this polytropic work done we are getting in terms of kilowatt, and kilowatt is nothing but the unit of power. So this work done and power both are same here for the time being. Okay, so polytropic work done or polytropic power we have got 4.925. Okay, so polytropic work is 4.925 divided by brake power. Now you solve this equation and tell me how much brake power we are getting. 5 point something will come, 5.596. 5.596 kilowatts. Okay, so in this way we have completed. We have find out the brake power of the engine also. Okay. And brake power is nothing but the power required or drive required to run the compressor. Okay. Whenever you will find out this word, to run the compressor, whatever the power required, that is called as brake power, because the compressor will run with the help of an external motor or with the help of external prime mover. That motor will rotate the crankshaft of the engine, and from crankshaft we are getting the brake power. And when the crankshaft will rotate, the piston will move up and down, and it will compress the air. Okay, so the power input to the compressor is nothing but here brake power. Okay, so this brake power we have calculated as 5.596 kilowatt. Okay, so this will be a 10 marks or 15 marks questions if it will come in the exam. So this is the only tricky part, because we have not discussed this kind of parts in the previous year problem, means how to calculate the cylinder dimension. There is no separate formula. From the volume only we can calculate the cylinder dimension, and to take care of the units, why I have multiplied n by 60. Okay, I have multiplied n by 60 here to convert this volume into volume flow rate, because if you will not multiply n by 60, then here this the unit, right hand side the unit is meter cube per second, left hand side what is the unit, meter cube. Okay, so you are telling that meter cube equal to meter cube per second, which is not correct. Okay, left hand side this pi by 4 d square L, you will get the unit as meter cube. Here you will get the unit as meter cube per second. So it is not correct. So to convert this meter cube into meter cube per second, we have multiplied n. So n, what is n? If you will only multiply n, you will get it in meter cube per minute, because n is revolution per minute. This is meter cube, this is revolution per minute. So the unit will be meter cube per minute. But this is meter cube per second. So you have to convert this minute into second. So 1 minute is 60 seconds. Okay, since per minute we are taking, so we have to divide it by 60, 1 by 60. So that this complete unit will be meter cube per second. And this is also meter cube per second. Solve it, you will get the diameter, and length by diameter ratio was given 1.8. From here you will get the length, and you will get the cylinder dimension. Okay, so that's all for today's class. This problem I will keep in the group right after this class. Okay, once you go through the formula, try to remember the formula, because we have only 1.5 months left for the final exam. Practice this problem once again. If you are getting any doubt, I think you will not get, but even though if you will get any doubt, feel free to ask me. So that's all for today. Again, we will meet on the next week. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.